Hello, in this video tutorial we're going to take a look at some of the new features in the Blackboard 9.1. Just as a reminder, June 20th through 28th, the old Blackboard will be going down and making preparations for the rollover to the new Blackboard on June 29th. And don't forget, if you run a blog or a wiki on the old Blackboard, you need to make sure that you export the content from those blogs and wikis prior to June 20th so that when the new Blackboard comes available, you'll be able to import that content. All the other content areas should roll over nicely to the new Blackboard, but the blog and wikis are not going to roll over. An email went out about a week ago with a handout on how to export the blog and wiki content, but if you need help with that or if you need me to make that handout available to you again, just let me know and I'll be happy to do so. So what we're looking at here is basically the login screen for the new Blackboard. At least this is what it looks like on the training site. I don't know if this is going to be the actual way the live Blackboard 9.1 is going to look for us, but no matter the look, you're going to need to put in your username and password and then just click login, and that should take us to our new site. And I've been playing around with this myself, so let me get rid of these two modules here so that I can show you what this entry page is going to look like. And we'll basically, in this tutorial, we're just going to discuss this entry page and some of the new features in this Blackboard and basically set a foundation for the other videos in which we'll get into more detail about the different content areas and things like that. But this is the way your Blackboard site should look. These are the basic modules that you would have available to you. If we look back at the old Blackboard, we can see it's very similar. Got the same basic tabs here at the top, a little bit different look and feel, but the same basic tabs. You've got these little square modules, which are just basic containers for different types of content, so you're going to have that here as well. One thing you'll notice, as soon as I hover over some of these different modules, if I put my mouse over the heading, you'll see the cursor changes to a four-headed arrow. And that's just one of the new features in this new Blackboard. And basically, this is a feature which takes advantage of advances that have been made in web technologies. And what it allows you to do is drag and drop information from one place to another. So if I see an area where my cursor becomes that four-headed arrow, all I need to do is click. That selects it, and then I can drag it to a new area and drop it. Very easy and very convenient. So you can just move it right back if you want to. A lot of the functionality from the old Blackboard, if you think about the different ways that you had to interact with your old Blackboard site and when you wanted to make changes, access information, access settings, there was a lot of clicking. You'd have to go to a control panel, click on a menu item, go to a setting, make your change, click submit, click OK again, and there's just too much clicking. That problem, if you want to call it a problem, has really been addressed, I think, pretty well in the new Blackboard. The look and feel is similar, but it's a little sleeker. But the main thing is a lot of the functionality, as I was saying, a lot of the interaction with the different content areas of your website, that functionality has been streamlined and moved to the top level, the user interface level of your Blackboard site, so that rather than having to click menus and things like that, you can simply click on an icon and make the changes that you want to make. Here you can click on your personalized page, and if you want to change the color palette, you could go down and make a different selection, choose a different color. And if you don't like to do the drag and drop, you can look for these up and down arrows. When you see this icon with the up and down arrows, if you click on that, that will give you another menu where you can make a selection for a piece of content and click an arrow to move it over. You can move it back if you want, and you can change the order by simply clicking the up and down arrows. So that's a pretty easy and convenient way to interact with that piece of information. As I said, these are the default modules, and if you remember when we first logged in, I had a couple other modules here that I had been playing around with. All you have to do if you want to add modules to your site is click on the Add Module button and then go down and select the module that you're interested in. I had been adding some notes and wanted those available to me right on my entry page, so I added that module. And I wanted to be able to have access to Google search, so I'll add that module back. Go down here and click OK, and there they are again. But you'll notice the Google module showed up in this first column, and I want to move it to the third column. So again, if I hover my mouse over the heading, it becomes that four-headed arrow. I click, drag, and drop, and you'll notice how the module will expand to fill the full width of that column. Now here's the note module, and I kind of like this one because I can just make little notes to myself. It doesn't even have to have anything to do with school. I can put a note on there to pick up milk or do whatever. And when I put in a note, if I just say, let's say, set up aux gym tomorrow, finish the wireless setup. Put your note in, click save, and then the link shows up here. So if I click on the link again, then it will give me the full message or the full note that I had just typed in. A couple other things here. One is you'll notice on some of these modules you'll see little gear icons. So if I click the gear icon, again it'll just take me to another page where I can edit the information, edit the appearance, or just change some feature. I have it set to show the calendar events for just today, but maybe I want to change it to show all of my calendar events. Now, then they'll be revealed right there, but I don't want to do that. So I'll just move it back, click submit. It's very easy, very quick to make changes here. Once you've made some updates, you'll see this little green bar at the top. It'll basically tell you that it's been successful. But if it's been successful, you'll see that for yourself anyway. Let's see, what else? Here's the basic tabs that you're familiar with, My FCPS, etc. You'll notice there's another tab here that if I hover over it, not a tab, but a little icon, if I hover my mouse over it, it says Visually Expand tab area on, and I can click it to toggle it on or off. And I was wondering, what in the world does this do? If you'll notice right under this area here, if I toggle it on and off, it kind of shifts up and down. Doesn't seem to do much, and in our case, it doesn't do much, and it won't. What it would do, if it were available to us, is if these menus had submenus, then turning that feature on would allow these submenus to expand out. And you've seen this on other websites where you hover your mouse over a particular tab or menu and it will expand down and show you all the different submenus. And if there's submenus under that, then you'll have little menus that'll fly out to the right. So that's all that would do, but you're not going to have that on the FCPS version, so don't worry about it. Up here at the top, you've got your name in case you forget that. You've got My Places, which basically just gives you access to information that's really already on your page. I'm not really sure why they have this here. It's at least for our version of Blackboard, it seems to be fairly redundant. Changing the text size is a little bit misleading. You can't actually change the text size for your whole site here. what this does is it just gives you some notes on how you as a reader or how a student or whoever looking at your site as a reader of your site could make the size of the text smaller or larger, and it tells you how to do so depending upon which browser you're using. Not something that you're probably going to use. And this high contrast setting, I thought, well, what does that do? So the default is just to use the Blackboard styles. I said, well, yeah, let me see what the operating system styles look like. So I click submit, and basically this heading here, or the header area, which was tan, became blue. The the Fairfax County icon, which kept its tan background, moved from the right to the left. And then the tabs here, instead of being red, turned a grayish blue. Not exactly the most useful little feature, so I'm going to turn it off. We'll just stick with the basic Blackboard styles. Okay, so that in a nutshell will at least get you started on some of these new features, at least allow you to interact with these different modules. Let me show you one more thing here. Under My Courses, again, I've already talked about these little gear icons. If on My Courses, if you click the gear icon, this actually will take you to some useful information. You can choose what sort of information you want to show up under your courses. So for instance, course name and all that kind of stuff is standard. But if you want to have announcements or tasks or calendar events show up under that course menu, you can just select the boxes and make those changes to that front page module. So that's kind of useful. And here's these up and down arrows again, which if you click on these, you can, again, if you have a whole bunch of courses here, you can select one and you can use these up and down arrows to make changes in the order. Here you have these up and down arrows, or two-sided arrows, let us say. And again, if I hover my mouse over it, it will turn into the four-headed arrow, and that means that I can just drag these up and down and change the order that way. So again, just more than one way to do things, and just depends on what your preference is. So the basic takeaway from this is just to be aware that the interaction, the functionality with this new Blackboard site has become much more streamlined. Many of the things that you used to have to click on the control panel and go to menus for, those things, those settings, the availability or access to those settings has been moved up to the user level. And so be on the lookout, kind of play around and pay attention to the different icons that are available to you. It's okay to click and experiment and just kind of play around with it. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to help you. As I said, there's going to be some subsequent tutorials coming where we'll get into the course menu. There's been some changes there, different content areas that you can add to your site, and the best change I think that they've made is how you actually upload files and content to your site. That one change, that one feature alone is worth all the other features put together as far as I'm concerned. It's so much easier now to update and manage the content in your Blackboard site. I think you're really going to enjoy that feature. So hopefully you found this helpful, and be on the lookout for some other tutorials coming soon. Thank you.